Greetings, I'm Professor K, and in this short video presentation we're going to look at some really fast tips and tricks that you can use in your Microsoft Word 2016 program to become more productive and to speed up any process that you're currently using. Now, the reason for this video is that these tips and tricks do not constitute creating a full-blown individual video for each one. So we're just going to go through each one of these very quickly, and you're going to be impressed, I hope, with some of these neat features that I'm going to show you in this short video presentation. So for this first trick, you can go up here and you can put your mouse on any tab inside of the ribbon. And leaving your mouse in place, you can use your scroll bar to move through the entire ribbon. So you can quickly find what it is you're looking for just by scrolling and staying in place on any tab. For this next feature, we're going to look at the zoom feature. So if you hold down your control key and you use your scroll wheel, you can zoom in, you can zoom out of your Word document. Now, another place that you can find this feature is over here on the right, down here at the right corner. You can zoom in and zoom out with this slide bar. Now, to get back to the default, just move the slider till you come to that notch and you're back to the default view. Now, though most of the commands are available up inside of the ribbon, if you go to the lower right corner and you click on this little punch out here, you bring up the properties page for each one of these command sections. Now, this property window can actually bring you a lot more hidden features for each one of these command or these sections up inside of the ribbon. So this is good to know. Now, by default, when we look down here at the lower bottom screen, now by default, when we look at the bottom of our screen down here at this taskbar for our Word document, you'll see that we have a number of options that we can have in place, and we can see some of the things that we like about the status bar is that it gives us some information rather quickly, but this is also adjustable. If you right click on the status bar, you have all these different options that you can add to it, whatever it is you like. So let's just right click on here and let's add our section. So let's say that I'm now working in my document and I want to find something in the section. Well, if you go down here to your taskbar, and now if you click on section, you bring up the find and replace. So you can find whatever it is you're looking for in that particular section. Something else that's really helpful inside of the taskbar is looking at the track changes. Now, if I add this feature to my taskbar, I can now toggle tracking changes off and on. And normally we have to go up here to do that, up here inside of the ribbon underneath the review tab. But I can add that feature now to my taskbar. Now, another cool feature of Word that we don't often use but is very useful is a navigation pane. Now, to get to the navigation pane, you can go up to View and you can add it, or you can just go down to your taskbar and just click here. You'll notice that the navigation pane now appears over on the left-hand side of your screen. And if you want to get rid of it, just click on the page one more time. So when we're checking our document and we're trying to make sure that everything's in place and we want everything dress right, if we go to the navigation pane by clicking on our taskbar and just clicking on page, we can then pull down this window right here inside of the search bar of our navigation pane, and we get all these wonderful options. So if I'm looking just for the graphics that are currently inside of my document, I can click on graphics and I will start scrolling through the graphics, starting with the first one, then I can go to the next one and do the same thing with tables, equations, footnotes, comments. All those features are now available right here inside of the navigation pane just by pulling it down from the search bar itself. So since we're talking about saving time and becoming more productive, we can take a look at how we open our documents. Now, normally, one of the things that most people do, and I'm guilty of this, is going to File and then doing Open and then finding the document that I want. But that's the long way home. One thing that you can do is you can add the Open option to your Quick Access toolbar. So instead of me going over here to File and then going to Open, I can just click on the Open option up here in my Quick Access toolbar, and I'm taken right over. And you'll see that I have all the documents that I recently used this week, last week, they're older documents. They're all inside of here, and I now have access to them. Now you'll note that I don't have any documents underneath my pinned documents. Now pinned documents are documents that I would like to have access to all the time. So if I'm working on a project and it's a long-term project, I don't want to have to be going the long way home to go open that document. I want to put it in my pinned documents. Now to do this, I'm just going to scroll over here and I'm just going to click on this pin, like so. Now you'll notice that that document is up inside of my pinned documents, and every time that I do an open, that document will be present for me. Now as time goes by and I'm done with this risk management plan and I no longer need it, I can go back over here to the pin. I can click it one more time, and now it's going to be sent back to its default location, and I'll have it in here as either an item that I've opened up in the last week or the week before, or an older item. Now by default, we're only allowed to have 25 items up here inside of my documents. Now if I would like to change this view, which is the default of 25, and let's assume that I want 50, then all I have to do is go over here to the options. And underneath the options, we click on Advanced. Inside of this window here, you're just going to scroll down till you come to the number 25. And there it is. Now if you would like to change that view, that default view of seeing 25 documents to 50, just type in 50 and just say OK. Now when I go back into my View Documents, or recently opened documents, you'll see that I now have 50. Now the same rules that we're talking about viewing recently opened documents applies to the folders view as well. So if I click on folders, you'll see that I have a number of folders that I've currently been into. Now if there's something that I'm working in, let's say a folder that I'm currently working in and I need to get in there a lot, then again I can go over here and I can pin that, just like so. And now that document will stay there until I unpin it. And now that folder will stay there until I unpin it. Now again, if you don't like the default view of 25, just go into the options, and right where you selected the default view for the number of documents, you can select the default view for the number of folders. So I'm going to try to make a number of these short videos on the tips and tricks that we can apply inside of our Microsoft Word program. And I'm also going to try to keep them under 10 minutes. That's the plan. And so that's going to conclude this short video presentation on our first video for tips and tricks up inside of our Microsoft Word 2016 program. So if you have any questions or concerns about anything that was shown to you in this short video presentation, please don't hesitate to reach out, contact your instructor, and I'll see you in my next video.